Hey y'all, we're going live here on YouTube. Good morning or good afternoon. I guess it's afternoon now. Today and behind the scenes, I wanted to talk about a client consultation that I had about their processes. And so, what we're doing is we're consulting. They've gone into our CRM, which is Workhorse Hub, built on the Go HighLevel platform. And so we do custom setups, but she did just a basic setup where she paid, a smaller fee just to kind of get in and get going. And now what we do is we just do some consulting work with her to kind of go, at her pace for how she wants to set things up. And we just kind of tell her, okay, this is how you should do it. And what we'll do is we'll go through and consult with her and talk about, what's your pain point? Let's look at that. And so right now we're looking at her client onboarding, which is a huge one of the main three foundational automations that I believe you should have set up in your business when you're setting up automations. My top three are your scheduler, your client onboarding, and your client journey. And so those are my top three foundational systems and automations that I believe you should have set up. And so that, of course, is one that I'm going to, recommend to her. And so it was on her top of her priority list. And so what we did was we had our call and we're going over. She's newer in her business. And so, I was like, I just kind of want you to brainstorm. We brainstormed together, talked about a lot that was going on, what she wanted her processes to look like. And then we landed on the client onboarding. And I said, I just want you to look and kind of make it a dream list of if you could make that process look exactly how you wanted it to look. I want you to write it out. Now, she has no idea what the possibilities are, and that's okay because I actually like that because I don't want her to have limitations in her head of what she thinks is possible. And so that's why I tell them, write it out as if this is your dream sequence. Okay. And so if you want a giraffe to come scooping in to greet your clients, I want you to write that down. Maybe not, but if you work in a sauna and you have the little narwhal that goes by, I love that little thing that goes by when you complete a task. But anyway, so yeah, I love that idea of just writing it out, just kind of brain dumping your whole workflow. What would it look like if it was a dream workflow to you? And so I urge you to do that. Pick the process that you're having, that is the biggest pain point for you in your business right now, and kind of just write it out. If you could automate it, or if you could automate it, or if you could make it be a dream process workflow, what exactly would it look like for you? Okay. And heck, put it into ChatGPT and tell it to help you make it happen and see what it says. I would love to hear what it says. But anyway, so I wanted her to do that. And so I gave her some homework. We were working on some other things in her business. And so we're getting back together. We're going to go through that. She has sent me an email of what that process looks like for her. And so what I've done is I've kind of gone through my process of how I write that. I take their information and I kind of put it together in the format that I need it to be in to process it myself, in my head, or for one of my employees to process it, to actually put it into a process and then create the automation and the workflow in our CRM, the Workhorse Hub. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of go through that process. And so I'm going to walk you through first without giving away, I always like to, some of my clients are like, share anything, they know that I do this, and they're like, share whatever you want to. Some of my clients, I don't want to share their information on camera. I don't want to give away all their ancient secrets. And so I like to make sure that I'm doing that as best that I can. And so what I want to do is I first and foremost kind of want to go over um, what the flow would look like. And so basically, if we just kind of go over it together, what the flow would look like is basically um, what they offer is kind of an assessment for, not business consulting, but how can I put this? Like leadership and things like that inside your business. Okay. And so they have different assessments that they offer for business, and they offer it for business and they offer it for personal, for families. Okay. And so eventually we'll have two kind of pipeline. I don't want to call it pipelines because that's some people in the business, in the CRM world will know pipelines are different, but buckets, we'll call them buckets. We'll have two different buckets nurturing those. And so what we're going to do is we're going to engage those clients. We're going to have our a welcome email, going over next steps. We're going to have an initial call. We're going to schedule a call. So we'll have that email to schedule a call. Depending on how they're going to come in, her and I will get on the phone and discuss this exactly how they're going to come in. They can come in several different ways. They can come in through her website, through a schedule the call. The contact form where they fill out, a short of possible questions on their website, because I never like to have a very long contact form on your website because that just gives them a chance for you to lose them every time you keep asking them questions. They're going to be like, oh, I just want to work with this person, or, they might get frustrated before they actually get to schedule the call with you. So, however they come in to schedule that call, give them that thank you message, an automated thank you message for scheduling the call, give them a little bit of information about what they're going to do on the call, maybe, and then we'll basically have that call with them, find out some information about what they're needing, whatever information she does on her discovery call or her initial call, and then send them the link for the proper assessment. Okay, so like I said, we'll have two different buckets for is this family or is this business related? Okay, now, there's some other things that are in the works, as far as like sales pipelines and things like that, where she can have, some people don't want to schedule a call right away. Maybe they just want more information. And eventually we'll have, two different sales pipelines coming from her website to where they can get more information, and we'll send them into a sales funnel. And then they can schedule a call or something like that. But right now, we're just talking basically about them scheduling a call, having a phone call with her, and taking the assessment and becoming a client. Okay. And so that's the workflow and automation that we're focusing on right now. And so they take the assessment. We're going to send them, 3 to 5 days later. We don't want too much time to go by. We're going to send them an email checking in on them, and saying, hey, schedule your call so we can get back on the phone. In the meantime, as soon as their assessment is done, we're going to give her a reminder to go over the assessment so that she can be prepared when she does get back on that call. And also, we're going to create some custom fields with inside the CRM, depending on what the answers to the assessment were. Not to take out any of the personalization, but later on inside some of our emails, we can use some of those custom fields to say, hey, remember in your assessment, we said this or this, and actually it will be more personalized. And so after that, after they have taken the assessment and she has looked over the assessment and had time to go through it, um, they will have the scheduling link and they can get back on a call with her to go back over that assessment. Okay. And then, so she'll be inputting those custom fields. And then they'll kind of go into a nurture sequence. I haven't gotten with her to see if we haven't got back on the phone yet. This has just been done through email. So her and I will be getting on a call soon before we complete this. So if the payment comes before the assessment or after the assessment, and so we will have that automated in there as well. But what we will do is also create a sequence, an email sequence after, just say, hey, how did you feel after your assessment? Did you, we'll ask some things. We have a whole follow up sequence after that. We can even, depending on the four types of answers from the assessment, we can follow up automatically depending on their assessment. Criteria after, whatever the results were. And so let's see here. And then what we will do is we will also, at a set point in time after that, we will do like an upsell series where we will try to upsell them into the coaching program for their specific type of, whatever their assessment said about them. And so we will try to upsell them into the value upsell of coaching. So there's so many things after that that we can do with them, put them into nurture sequences for upsells later. Just keep my client front of mind to this customer and things like that. But this is going to be the gist of the this automation. And so basically we have invoices going out, we have assessments going out, different types of assessments will go out depending on which assessment they need, whether it's business or family related. And the emails will go out depending on what service they need, what assessment they need. The reminders will be going out if they do not fill out the assessment, and then the scheduler will be going out after they fill out the assessment for them to schedule the follow-up call to go over the assessment. And my client will also be reminded to go over the assessment so that she will have the information before she gets on the call with her client. And then we will have the upsell a little while later into a coaching program, and go from there. That is the main gist of that automation. And so I will go ahead and share my screen and show you what this looks like in the CRM. And so let's see here. Okay. All right. Bear with me. I'm having mouse problems. So, the little tech gremlins, every time you go live or you're on the phone with a client, the little tech gremlins like to come and get you. So, okay. So basically we're in our CRM, the Workhorse Hub built on the Go HighLevel platform. And so what we'll do is we'll go into automations. Before we create the automations, what we do with our clients is we go in and we put in the emails into marketing here. We create the canned emails in snippets. That way, when we go in to create the automations, they're already in there. We can click on them. We don't actually create them inside of the automation or the workflow because we want it to be easy to go back and just find them all in one place and edit them if we need to. We will go ahead and create the custom fields that we need. And we'll do all of that. We'll basically get prepped and ready, do some foundational work inside the CRM before we build the workflow. Okay. And so we'll go into automations and we'll create a new workflow for her. We won't select a recipe. You can come in here and select some recipes. There's not really a recipe for what we want to do. And so we'll just start from scratch. There is an AI assistant that you can use to help you build some workflows. And so you can give this a name. And so we'll just call this assessment onboarding. And so you'll pick a trigger. And so the trigger is what is going to start the workflow. And for us, it could be different things depending on what my client and I decide. So here's all your triggers over here. A tag is added, a task is added, a task is completed. different things like that. You can look for something with a form or an event, um, appointment status um, from your calendar, opportunities, which are going to be inside like your pipelines and your stages and things like that. And so this all has to do with courses and payments. And so we could, like, if she's having them pay on the website, we could do something. If there's a link coming from the website to where they're coming in and they're paying for whichever one they want, we could do something to where they're, receiving we're receiving a payment and then this is triggered. I don't think that's how we're going to do it. I believe how we're going to do it is they're probably going to come in through a form. And so what we would do is we would have to create the form and then we would say form submitted or Facebook. It's not going to be a Facebook lead form, but a form is submitted. And so then we would come in here and we would pick the form. So we would have to have the form already created. And like I said, we have to create those foundational pieces first before we come in here and create the workflow. So what we would do after that is say, send email. Okay. And so, like I said before, what we would do is go ahead and we would have a template already created. And so we would come over here and we would find our template that we already created. Okay. And so here's just a couple of templates that we have in our demo account. And so, let's just go ahead and let's just click this Merry Christmas template. And we would have to, it usually picks the subject line that goes with the template. We would say from who's this from, and email. Okay. And so then we would save this. And so what I like to do right here, because I like to, if I look at an automation, I like to just kind of know email. I like to know what this is. And so I would say, but let's see here. Send email with scheduler or something like that. So whatever the actual action is, I kind of like to put it in there so that you can see it over here and you'll notice how this changes. Okay, see how that changed? Now we can actually see what that email is about right here. And so then what we would do is maybe we would put in a wait time. And so instead of it just saying wait over here, I want it to say like wait 1 day and time delay 1 day. And then, let's see here. Maybe we didn't send the scheduler. And we want to send an SMS. We could send an SMS and we could send the scheduler here. Maybe they didn't schedule. And so we want to remind them maybe a day later, hey, are you okay? You didn't, notice that you didn't schedule yet. Just wanted to send the link so it was easy for you to use. And maybe we could send them, we could send an SMS and we could go ahead. You can have a template in here. If you don't want to use a template, type it up in here real quick. Put the scheduler link. You can use custom values here. And if it's you can say user. And then your calendar link that you use. If you, in the settings in the CRM, if you have chosen what calendar link that you use that goes with you, then this custom value would work for you. Okay. And so we could put that here. As you notice, you can also add attachments here, files, and you can also send a test. So you can send it to yourself to test it and make sure that the SMS worked. And so we can do that. Okay. And so we would build out the rest of the emails that we want to send them. If remember when I said we wanted to have her check That's what we would do. We would say assign to user, and we would say, whoever it is, she would be in here. The client would be in here. This is one of my assistants. And so we would say this, assign to, um, let's see here. Okay. And so she would get notified here. Um, it would say assign to her. And so basically, if a contact comes in, it'll in their account, it's going to assign it to them, and so that they'll have access to that contact. Um, but yeah, there's a couple of different things that we can do here. We can add a contact tag, and so this could be what we could do is we could also we can create a tag here. We can give it a tag for, they are in this, they're onboarding. They have scheduled, after they schedule, we can give a tag that they've scheduled. We can give a tag that which assessment they're doing. And so I love to use tags. It helps you later on to kind of filter your contacts. And so we can go over that another day, but this is just part of the workflow. And when her and I have the ins and outs of everything, we'll go through it together when I know when they're invoicing. Let's see here. Let's cancel this and say, oops, send invoice. We can send the invoice in here if we want to, and things like that. And so there's it's kind of, we can update the contact field, different things like that. And so these are kind of ones that you will use a lot of. Um, and then this is all kind of communication. This is how they've broken it down, like contact, communication. As you see here, you can send an Instagram DM, you can send a messenger, a voicemail, a call, a Slack, any of that good stuff. The if and else, these are nice. I can show you one of my workflows that has a branch for an if and else for some quizzes. And I think we've gone over that one day. I don't want to be too long today. Again, this is an assessment onboarding workflow, just a piece of what it would look like to start building it. I told you guys how I consulted with the client over it. We took one of her processes and we're starting to build out the automation. So I hope that helps you guys know a little bit about what that looks like to work with a client through that, and how you can create the automation and workflow of your dreams. And if you are starting to write that out and you're like, how is this going to look? How can I make this happen? And you're stuck, then let me know. I would love to walk through that with you and see what we can make happen in your business.